What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the 1996 YZ125 build. Behind me, I've got the frame powder coated. My hat's pretty full of dust. Yesterday I did some powder coating, so let's look at the frame and see how it looks. So here's the frame, guys. I think it turned out absolutely amazing. I went with illusion blue, and then I went with a clear over top of it. That's kind of the process you're supposed to do when you do it, or otherwise it's going to come out really dull. So you'll put the illusion blue on first, cook it, and then when it comes out of the oven, you put a clear coat over it, and then it comes out looking just like this. So I'm hoping in this video to get the engine back in the frame, but first of all, I have to make the subframe match this, so I'm going to go ahead and powder coat that. All right, so I got the subframe hanging here. I fashioned like a hook device out of an old spoke, so that's really strong, so that holds everything up really good. It held the frame really well, so the subframe will be no problem. I've got the chain around the top of the door opener. Nobody ever opens the door but me, so it should be safe here for now. But now I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning this subframe up and getting it ready for powder coat. All right, so I just gave this bath in acetone there and just wiped it down really good. I'm going to put it in my oven here for probably about half an hour, 45 minutes or so, just to cook the contaminants out of the metal if there's any, and then give it another bath in acetone and make sure I get any dust or anything like that. This oven I actually built from scratch here. So my old oven, if you've been watching the channel, you've seen it in other videos. I actually just gutted my old oven, built this bigger one, and now I can do frames and subframes and bigger items. All right, so I got the subframe all cooked out now. So I gave it another bath in the acetone, and I took a clean paintbrush to it because it's kind of hard to control the dust in here, just because it's a garage or whatever. So I usually give it quite a while, like a half an hour or so, just let everything settle in the garage, and then I start powder coating just to avoid getting dust on the whatever parts I'm powder coating. So I'm going to go ahead and do the first coat in the illusion blue now. All right, guys, this is what the illusion blue looks like before you get the clear coat on it. So I'm gonna let this cool down a little bit, and then after it's cooled down a tiny bit, probably around 160, 150 degrees, I'm gonna start hitting it with this clear coat, and then I'm gonna throw it back in the oven and let it cure. All right, guys, as you can see, I got the subframe powder coated, I got the frame powder coated, I got the engine all put back together, so now it's time to get that engine into that frame. So I had to pause the time lapse there, guys. Everything's looking pretty good except for I ordered some engine hangers off eBay, and they actually came with more bolts than necessary. So I thought this bolt here, which they sent with the engine hangers, was part of the engine assembly. It isn't. This might be for a different model, but I went back into my bolts and this is the one that fits. I was really having trouble getting it to fit, so now I need to just clean this bolt up and paint the head on that flat black, and then I can get back at it. So I got this top bolt painted and installed here. I got the bottom mounting bolt. I left the rear axle out for the swing arm, of course, because I have it on the floor there. So I'm gonna have to get that pressure washed and disassembled. So the swing arm's on the bench here. I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble it first and then pressure wash it, just so everything's out of the way, all the chain sliders and everything. All this is getting replaced, so I think I'm going to leave the swing arm bearings in because they had no movement when I checked them, so they're good to go for now. So I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, and take all the stuff off this and clean it up. This swing arm is stripped, so I left the only thing I left in it was the collars, just because I don't want to pull the collar out. Sometimes those needles fall out, so you got to be really careful when you pull these collars out if you're going to save the bearings, because they will fall out on you. So now the next step is going to be putting this outside and pressure washing it. All right, I got the arm all cleaned up here now. So what I'm gonna do now is probably pull these collars out and just re-grease the bearings, and then start putting everything else back on, all the chain sliders and stuff like that. There's a little bit of scuffing and all that here, but I've got some graphics on the way that's gonna cover that. So if it doesn't, I'm gonna mock it up and see how it looks. If it doesn't look too bad, I'll just put the graphics right on. If everything looks too terrible, then I'll probably just go ahead and maybe powder coat the swing arm, but I mean, it's all just gonna get scratched anyway, so I'll just go with that for now. So next up is going to be this rear chain slider. It's from Fredette Racing Products. So I got this from Rocky Mountain ATV. So I'll put a link down in the description of where I got it from. All right, so I encountered a little problem. This piece here is just a bit too thick. So I'm gonna have to shave this block down a little bit. And I figured out how it goes together. One piece goes on like that. The other piece goes on like this. And this is supposed to go in here like I was saying, but it's too thick, so I'm gonna have to shave it down a little bit. All right, guys, so I'm back on track here now. I put this in my vise and just shaved it off with a hacksaw. And then I used a rasp just to get it a little bit more flat, and then I just kind of tapped it into place with a hammer, so now I can keep going on this. All right, so I got this rear chain slider on. The only problem I had was the top wear piece. It was just a little bit too thick, so I had to grind it down a bit. Other than that, this thing fits on there just perfectly. So these guys seem like they make pretty good stuff. So yeah, definitely check it down below in the description. I'll put a link to where I got it from. So now I'll put the front chain slider on. So this is an OEM one, so there should be no reason why it shouldn't be a perfect fit. So I got the front chain slider on here. Like I was saying, it's OEM, so it fit on there perfectly. So now I can go ahead and I think I'm just gonna mock this up for now on the bike, just because when I did go into here, I discovered that these thrust bearings inside here, you can't see them right now, but I'll show you. These thrust bearings are done, so I gotta order some thrust bearings. These bearings are okay in here, but the thrust bearings, I'm gonna replace them. So they're not a big ticket item, so I might as well just replace them, be easier. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm really digging the way this bike is coming along. I'm liking the color scheme so far. I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but I actually kind of like it. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Leave a like if you like this video. If you want to follow the rest of the build, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, thanks a lot for watching.